Your girl SolieSims, and we're doing a speed build, but this time it is just for a room and it is for a mini challenge. It's like a door challenge, except it was for fruit this time around. And I picked a number 6. I had no idea what it would have been because it's like a blind challenge. You just pick a number and then you're given either a cast item or a build item to, well, it's not really item, guys, but you know what I mean. Yeah, you either get a cast or a build to do, and I got to do a coconut living room, and I was a little bit confused as to what I was supposed to do with it, because I didn't know if I should go like make shape it like a coconut. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but anyway, I just decided to use the tones of a coconut. And for those who've never seen a coconut, let me tell you, it starts off with a green shell, a green outer shell, and it's fairly big. It can be as big as maybe a medium-sized watermelon, roughly, on like a bit on the smaller side. And most times the guys, well, we have some guys who sell coconuts. I don't know how many of you know, but I'm from the Caribbean. I've mentioned it before that I am, and we have the guys who sell the coconuts, and they would chop up the tops of the coconuts, and then there's this hard shell, inner shell on on the inside, like it's almost like the nut, and he has to break this open, and then in there, in the little cavity, there's like a little pocket of water. And it depends. Sometimes if it's a young coconut, it will be a little bit tart. If it is a mature coconut, it is very sweet and so delicious. These are my favorites. No, needless to say, it is one of my favorites. And then the jelly, I don't know which type of jelly I like the best. I like there's this, when it's younger, it has this soft mushy flesh that is just so delicious, and it's so refreshing, guys, a coconut. And then I like it when it's just starting to get a little bit firmer as well. You can scoop it out with either a spoon shaped from the shell of the coconut, or you can just use a regular spoon as well, but I like to use the spoon from the coconut. And you can chill it, put it on the fridge, and it's really good. It's a really it's really refreshing, and it's nice to take to the beach as well, as a snack or whatever. I mean, the guys actually sell the water on its own and the jelly on its own. That's just for persons who prefer to have either one for themselves, but I normally go for both. And then there's the copra, and the copra is actually what I based my build on. The copra is what is turned into it's what is turned into oil, like to make coconut oil, to make I think they do lipstick as well with it, like the like a base in using for lipstick, and and stuff like that. So I did mine based on the copra. The shell is brown. That's a coconut that has been the outer green has been, or even it turns brown if it stays in the tree too long, like it's very too mature. And there is some liquid in there, and it's normally almost like it's like it turns like it's carbonated. It's not advised that you drink it, but sometimes I still do. And just because I like the little fizzy feeling. Yeah, I shouldn't, but yeah, I like the little fizzy feeling. And the jelly in there is tough. Like there is there's those that it's really really tough, and then there's those that is good to it's normally grated. That's when the flesh is firm enough, and it can be grated to be incorporated into things like coconut cakes, like to make the flakes, etc. That is when the coconut has been firmed really, is firm enough to allow it. And then there's the really really, when it's really really dry, and that is when it is used for mostly the oils, etc. My uncle, when I was growing up, I guess like with every other every other child growing up, there is the country relatives and the city relatives. I was one of the city relatives. My mom grew up in the country, but she moved up to the city. And for for summer vacations, I would go down to the countryside to spend time with my cousins and to just hang out. Most times it's for Christmas. It's not Christmas, for Easter vacation. It's like a 2-week vacation for us, and sometimes we would go down there for that time, but most times it was for the summer break. And we would do so many fun things. I mean, there was the river. We would go, I think you guys call it crawfish. We would go hunting for crawfish, and we would cook by the river on stones and rocks. And my uncle used to do copra, collect copra to sell, and he had this that and cocoa pods. That's another topic. The cocoa pods that's used to make a whole variation of things, like the cocoa powder for tea, etc. But he used to do these, both of them, and he used to put it out to dry, and we would have to take this long trek through the bush, over, it felt like you're going down a hill, up a hill, down a hill again, jump over the river. It was fun. It was really fun, and I enjoyed it. So on days when he would go do his whole copra harvesting and the cocoa harvesting, we would make a day of it. He would take the kids, we would make a day of it, and we would bathe in the river. We would catch crawfish to cook. We would suck on the cocoa pod seeds, and we would eat some copra. It was such fun. I now, only as I'm mentioning it, realizing how much fun I had doing all of these little things. And it's a shame now that I don't have that opportunity to send my kids down there to experience it. It's just not possible right now, and I feel a little bit bad because they're missing out on such, it was so much fun. They're missing out on something so great. Anyways, guys, we're getting to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed my little impromptu story as well. And I will see you again in my next video. Goodbye.